What's going on, guys? Today we're going to take a look at creating an iterative practice for one of our students. What we mean by that is we're going to start off with one of our students, George here, and we're going to give him a game to start playing. The game we are going to give him today to start playing is going to be centered around guard work and guard passing. We're going to use this game as a way to assess his skills currently to create games directly from the data we collect here by watching him play. Now, you guys hear me say this all the time. There are no plug-and-play games. And this is my attempt to help you understand why and how we should appropriately approach and use CLA. The reason there are no plug-and-play games is every game that you will ever play, every constraint you will ever manipulate is diagnostic in nature. You can't assume that you know what's going to happen when you create a game for somebody to play. You have to pay attention to what happens live as your students are engaging. And the games you create from there are going to be based on the results you get from the games that you play. Recently, I put out 3 instructionals: CLA for standing, CLA for entanglements and heel hooks, CLA for passing. Now, each of those were just small portions of how I've used constraints historically, task constraints specifically, to help our students learn how to do those behaviors. Those courses are not standalone. You can start with them, but if you do not know how to manipulate beyond the initial conditions, you won't be able to appropriately apply a constraints-led approach to your practice. All right, now let's get started. We're going to set George off, let him play some games, and change as we go. Now, my intention for this first game is to see how George uses the connections of his hands and the connections of his feet to keep Josh in front of him. Now, we're going to keep it rather short just so we don't have them gas out, 1 to 2 minutes. I'm going to give them a task. We're going to watch them play. So for the first game, we're going to start with George. Stand up for me, Josh. We're going to start with George belly up. His job is to try to connect his feet and hands to his partner. He's going to try to hook or post on Josh using the tops of his feet to hook on or the bottoms of his feet to post on. He can do this in any combination he would like. He's also trying to put both of his hands anywhere as grips, anywhere he would like on Josh to stay connected to him. There's going to be no win condition for George in this game. I'm only going to give a win condition for Josh to challenge the connections George is going to try to apply. For Josh to win, I'm going to give him three conditions he has to fulfill in order to win the game. 1, he has to step one of his legs to either knee pit once. Doesn't matter which one. He just has to try to step to either knee pit. He has to also get to both sides of my legs. He has to move to one side outside of my feet, make shin contact, and then move to the other. It doesn't matter how he accomplishes this, as long as he fulfills the condition of reaching 3 of those points. If he gets all 3 in any combination, 1, 2, 3, he wins the game. Let's watch them play and see how it plays out. Now, don't feel rushed. Just stay focused on your task. Get your feet and hands on him. So we see Josh right here. We go left and right. So Josh now has the middle to achieve. Good. Freeze. Let's go one more time. Good. I need the middle without his feet touching you, Josh. And you've got one side. Got the middle. And he's got the other side. Okay, relax, easy. So initially, I saw George's feet and hands going everywhere. It seemed like he was rather overwhelmed by Josh's initial connection, and he seemed to lose track of where he wanted his feet to be. Now, this is normal. This is okay. George is essentially a beginner. He's only been here for a little bit. And this is what we expect to see when we introduce a new game to any student. Now, anytime I see lack of direction, I need to give them a point of focus to maybe help guide their attention better. So in this next game, we're going to give him a starting point that he's going to try to maintain for as long as he can. So in this next situation, we're going to have George start with both feet in between his partner's knees. Now, this is a starting point that I just typically like to use in my gym, but this is not required. We could have a connected position to start anywhere. But the reason I'm starting George connected, again, is to give him some clarity as to where I want him to go when he's going to make future connections. So we're going to have George start with both feet in between his partner's knees. One hand on either ankle. Doesn't matter which one, it's up to him to choose. Now in this game, George's job is to keep both his feet hooked in between his partner's knees. If at any time one of George's hooks pops out, he's gonna try to put it back in and maintain this condition for as long as possible. His other hand can grab wherever he wants except the other ankle. Right now, he cannot grab both ankles at the same time. He can switch ankles, but he can't grab them both. He can put his hands everywhere else that he would like to try to help him stay connected while keeping both feet in between. Now, Josh is gonna have the same task as before. He's gonna have to get one leg into the middle to touch the knee pits either side. And he's gonna have to get both his legs around either side of my body, making shin contact outside of my feet. So let's watch them play and see how it plays out. So again, the reason we're choosing this, keep going, is to give him a point of reference. So now he gets to experience what it's like to start connected. This is gonna help direct what his hands and feet are doing more clearly. And this can be used for beginners because sometimes the fast motion of starting disconnected can be overwhelming when we start to search for what connection feels like or means to us. Good, George. Nice. Did you get the middle, Josh?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it again, one more time. So feet in the middle. Again, try to keep those feet there however you can. Stay connected. Good. If you lose foot in the center, try to get it back. Good, much better, George, very, very good. So now you can see his focus change. He's trying to take his feet to where they started, and we already see a little bit of improvement in the focus, and it's starting to become more difficult for Josh. And Josh has been a student longer than George, so here's an example of how to take good time. A more experienced student and putting with a less experienced student is still getting something out of the exchange. Very good. As we watch George try to focus on the task of keeping foot and hand contact with his partner, in the first game we saw right away, if we kept it too open, he struggled with it a bit. This told me as a coach it might be overwhelming for him, pretty strong struggle, because he lost very quickly. That lets me know that he might need a little more experience starting connected. So in that second game, we started connected to give him more of a focus as to what his feet were doing and where we wanted them. And as you see, it wasn't as quick. We got some more time out of the exchange and it helped George focus. As we watched the second game play out, we saw Josh exhibit a high level of mobility. He was moving left to right very quickly. It seemed a bit overwhelming, and that's where George was losing connection. So now I want to give George another task that we could use, starting from a connected position that could take away some of Josh's mobility. So just like the game before, we're going to start connected. We're going to start connected with 2 feet in between our partner's knees. Now your job is the same as it was before. You can post and hook anywhere you'd like to stay connected, but you're trying to focus on keeping your feet in between your partner's knees. If at any time one of your feet or both your feet pop out, we're trying to put them back in the middle. And we're going to start with one ankle. But now this time, as you keep both feet in the center, or at least touching your partner somewhere on their body, we're going to search to get both ankles and put our partner on their hips or their hands. Now, when we make them fall, this is not a win condition. We want to try to keep them on their hands or on their hips for as long as we can while keeping our feet in between their knees. All right, you understand the focus? Josh, same as before, one leg to the middle, either knee pit, and both legs to outside, shin touch, outside and both sides of the feet. You guys got it? All right, let's work.
That's not a win condition though?
There's no win condition for him. We're just having him explore the open space to challenge his ability to stay connected to you as you move. Good. Try to get your feet back to the center, George. Good. Good, George. Nice. Way to search for both ankles. Very good. Nice, way to keep him on his hands. Good. All right, time. Very good, very good, very good. Nice. Good work.
Oh, I know, well, I heard.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Just letting him play a little bit. Now, as instructors, we have to make sure we're not overconfident and the strength of our directions. Sometimes it sounds great to us. We've been thinking about it all day, we wrote it down on some paper, and we said it beautifully. Took 90 seconds, I'm the man. But sometimes that's not how your students are experiencing it, right? So as you noticed in the game, Josh might have won a few times. So it just could because either maybe your students weren't confident enough to call it out. Hey, I won, stop now. Or maybe they were just unaware that they got to their position, right? So now in the next game we're gonna play, as we continue this, I'm gonna have Josh call out his win each time he reaches a point. Like you can put anything in there. I could say something like touch, touch, touch. So if he says it 3 times, they're both aware that they reached their mark. Now, this can be especially helpful for new players who don't have the kinesthetic or visual acuity to see the lines you're asking them to reach. So just something to consider. Now, I just had a quick conversation with George here, telling him what I saw, but now I want to tell you. So what I noticed, his connection went up a bit. The focus of getting to both ankles and putting Josh down helped with reducing Josh's movement a bit. But as I saw them engage, I saw that once one leg was in the middle, or he was only interacting with one leg, he had a hard time staying connected to it. So what we're gonna do is use a single leg connection and guide him toward a double leg connection in order to enhance his ability or his focus to achieve these tasks. So in this next situation, we're gonna have Josh start standing. Okay, use this leg. Yep. George, you're gonna start with one foot in between your partner's knees, hooked onto their butt cheek. You're gonna start with the outside leg hooked underneath the leg that's hooked on the butt cheek, and you're gonna start with your outside hand on your partner's ankle. Now, just like before, your job is to get both your feet in between your partner's knees, search for both ankles, and try to hold your partner down on their hips or hands continuously. Now, you have a secondary task to help you achieve that. While connected to this single leg, use the connections of your hooks, post, and hand to help pull your partner towards their hands while you try to achieve the middle, or push your partner to their butt while you try to achieve the middle. Okay? So we're using our connections, whether we are on one leg or both, to push and pull, to help guide our focus to the middle and to stay connected. Does that make sense to you? Josh, same thing as before, middle and the outsides, but you have to say it every time you win. Got it? Let's go. Yep, perfect. Now start off with some good tension. Make sure you're nice and tight when you start. All right, let's go. Good. Good, George. Way to focus on putting your feet to the middle.
Outside.
Good.
Outside.
Good.
Middle.
Good. I like it. Beautiful job, guys. Beautiful job. You feel like calling it out helped a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, good. I like that. Very good. Now we'll keep it running. We're trying to keep this one short for you guys. But either way, this was a quick and dirty way that we could show you how to set out a task, watch what happened, and change it as we go. As you notice, I did a combination of communicating with you, the people I'm trying to help understand, but also the students that I'm working with. Being able to communicate your ideas, whether it's to a crowd watching or to the students who are consuming your material, this is critical. The way we speak to each other helps us focus on what we're trying to accomplish. Setting an intention both for your practice and for your students helps clarify what exactly you're asking them to do. And I hope that you're able to see here today that we were able to do that live with some clarity to help George gain an experience, to help him move towards improving the skills of making and maintaining connection from his open guard.